Okay, let's get this fixed. It seems for some reason it's want to. Okay. Take this off. Move. Put this back on. Excuse me a second, just to remind me why we set things up. There we go. I think we're almost good there. And let's get started with the show, shall we? I think we should. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. So, the title of our discussion, let's get this doing the right thing. Should be doing that anyway. The title of our discussion is in the title discussion is about promoters, boxing promoters in particular. It's very apparent that boxers and boxing promoters have two different rules and two different ways of two laws. Now, hold on a second, something's not right here because I'm meant to be having something coming up on my Facebook page. And it's not, so let's make sure it's coming up there. Can't have this showing. Yeah. Great. Right, now we're live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to you all on Facebook. This is a pre-birthday stream. And of course, good evening to you all that are on YouTube. Right, so the conversation is about boxing promoters. And the thing is, I think there's two standards. There's the standards for the fighter on what the fighter can and cannot say, and what a promoter can and cannot say. It seems that a promoter can say what they want, when they like, how they feel, and face no repercussions for it. Salute to the Brotherhood, and salute to D-Low Boxing, brother. Good to see you, and good to see you on my Facebook page as well. It seems that way. It seems that promoters are law unto their own. Deontay Wilder says he wants to get a body. He wants to catch a body. And many fighters in boxing, I remember Tyson Fury said some things and he got punished by the board. And many other fighters throughout boxing have said things and have been sanctioned by the board, the British Boxing Board of Control. And apart from not making weight or not fighting in the ring, the comments that they make, they can be punished for as well. But it seems promoters, as I said, can do what they want when they like, how they feel. Eddie Hearn has said that Wilder was mentally broken. On what recommendation is Eddie Hearn talking about Deontay Wilder being mentally broken? Is he a psychologist? Has he got a relationship with him? Does he know what Deontay Wilder's like when he suffers a defeat? He doesn't, but he knows that he's mentally broken. He also knows that the ticket sales were a disaster. And he also knows that Deontay Wilder, in over a year and a half, has not improved 1 point. Now, I didn't know Eddie Hearn had a professional boxing career. I didn't even know that Eddie Hearn had an amateur boxing career. I didn't even know Eddie Hearn's a promoter. All I know is a damn accountant. If you want to talk money and figures, that's fine. Yes, brother, how we doing? If you want to talk money and figures, Eddie's your man, Barry's your man. But these guys, as far as I'm concerned, they should be pulled up for false advertising. Good evening, brother. They should be pulled up for false advertising. They should be pulled up for inaccurate slander. Because I could technically say you're saying that I'm mentally broken, and people are listening to you, and you're saying this statement. You're not medically qualified. You don't know me as a person. We don't talk. We don't have that kind of close relationship. And you, as a mouthpiece, are saying things about me and my career which is detrimental to me. It's just as irresponsible as when these commentators say it's the last fight, it's the final countdown. If he doesn't win this fight, his career is over. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Really, really appreciate that. That his career is over. And the guy may have had 1 or 2 defeats on his record, and you're already condemning that fight to the end of his career. Commentators and promoters need to be held accountable for what they say. And I believe the promoters, especially big mouth people like Hearn, put a lot of stuff out there that causes the communities to be toxic. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Not so much Frank Warren, but Hearn, because he'll say the most outrageous and most reckless things, and people who actually gophers will go for it and listen to what he says. This is a man that looked down a camera and told people on the day of the fight of Wilder versus Fury, he didn't think the fight was going to go ahead. This is the man. This is the man that told us straight in our face that Joshua Fury, he had some big news. He had some big news. He had some big news. And all the big news was just reeling people in to watch the fights that were being promoted on Matchroom, so they'd get much more attention and promote his fighters. Never announced Fury versus Joshua, and then told us afterwards there was an arbitration, and he said it was going to be okay. The statements that promoters are making about the fighters are as bad or as worse than fighters accused of promoters stealing from other fighters with no proof. I agree. Now, I think for the sport of boxing to change and for there to be improvement in the sport of boxing, I believe the truth should be told. Could you imagine if the truth was told about contracts? One, the truth was told about first of all, we knew the truth about contracts, the truth about gates, the truth about conditions of fighters before they get in the ring. You might say this is all harsh, but the amount of lies and propaganda within the sport of boxing is ruining it. But if you had just honesty, a bit more honesty in the world of boxing, and a bit more openness about boxing. Like now, Tyson Fury has come up with this whole situation with COVID. Yet, Joseph Parker and his manager, Higgins, has said that Parker's got no COVID. So what's going on? The constant lies that happen in boxing, the things that promoters say and get away with, there should be a fine. There should be some ramifications for when you spout your mouth off and you talk absolute rubbish without proof. That's what should happen, I think. Yes, Ingram, and big up the chat room, of course. Not be a shadow sport, shouldn't. Eddie has groupies who take his word on facts, no matter how outlandish. Yeah, you know that. We know that already. No matter what he says, and still they will worship and support him. And I believe that promoters like him that make outlandish statements are also the reason of the toxic community that we have today in boxing. I blame the promoters. I blame the promoters. Good evening, Lefinda. Hope you're well. Let me just change this the stream a second. Give me a second. There you go. So, yes, it's my pre-birthday stream. Just letting you all know as well. I join the club of 45 tomorrow morning, God willing. Join the club of 45 tomorrow, God willing. And I have to say, I feel better now at 45 than I did at 35 or 25. So there, just thought I'd put that up there as well. But I have to say this. If there was sanctions, because I remember when Tyson Fury opened up his mouth up about a few things, he got fined. And he revealed to me that he did things because the promoter told him to do it. Now imagine we had transparency about this whole situation with the COVID with Fury. Eddie Hearn told so many lies, it's boring. Right? They told, when I met him, he told me in the first 30 seconds of my interview with him, he said to me, he's a bullshitter. He's a second-hand car salesman. He's a bullshitter with a smile. And he sees himself as a second-hand car salesman. That's how he sees it. But I guess boxing promoters, and boxing fans see it as something else. See, look, the promoters are bigger, more famous than most of the fighters. That is what I'm saying. That's the problem right there. A problem right there. Pick up yourself and enjoy your 45th. I will be enjoying it, my brother. I will be enjoying it. And we'll even have a beach party as well to celebrate the birthday. So, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Promoters are more popular than some fighters. And that is unacceptable. So the promoters promoting themselves more than promoting the fighters. And that's unacceptable. When you talk about truth and honesty, then we should have fair judges. Fair judges in boxing. It won't buy you much, but happy birthday in advance. Thank you very much, brother. See, that's good. That's all cool. $3. You'd be surprised how far $3 go. So thank you very much. I appreciate the contribution. At the end of the day, if we have transparency in boxing, he's doing pretty well for a second-hand car salesman. You see, and you know the people in boxing that love boxing and they want the best of boxing, and you know the people that support personalities. There's a difference when you love in boxing, you love personalities. When you love personalities, then you're quite happy to go along with their corrupt, toxic ways. When you love the sport, you can put the personality one side and say, you know what? This is not fair. This is not the way the sport should be going. So comments like this gentleman right here, or this lady here, Leanne Tockler, says that he's doing pretty well for a second-hand car salesman. I say this. He's doing well, but at whose expense? How many careers has he destroyed? Let's talk about that. Telling fighters that they have to take this fight and have to take that fight. So the bottom line for me is this in this video. If we want to talk about the sport moving forward and transparency, what do? We get judges that can judge fairly, and if they judge some garbage scores, they need to be reprimanded, i.e., you can't judge for the next couple of months. I don't care. You don't judge for the next few months. A promoter says, yeah, these are disastrous sales. Then you've got to prove that with facts and figures. If you can't prove it with facts and figures, and you're just doing it to discredit or slander, your ass needs to be brought up to account on it, because you can't prove that. So that needs to be brought up, and it needs to be dealt with. When you're calling people mentally broken, but then you want to turn around another hand and start talking about Tyson Fury's mental health, but then you tell another man who's mentally broken, you're not in a position to tell anybody who's mentally broken. So you need to know your place and know your role. You're a promoter. You promote boxing. You promote fighters. That's what you should be doing. Not, and I tell you another thing that would help the sport of boxing. Facts. Who gives a damn what promoters think? They're all slimy. I'm a boxing fan, not a boxer fan or promoter fan or network fan. That's what we're talking about right there. At least he doesn't sue all these fighters like Frankie Boy. Selling Boy's probably. I tell you what, you say what about Frankie Boy, but Frankie Boy, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of promoter and in terms of guiding guys to world title fights, when you talk about substance, that's Frankie Boy. When you talk about show, that's Eddie. I'll go with substance. And they need to be put through a recertification as a judge before returning. Absolutely. It should be illegal for promoters to lie about a fight, Joshua Fury, being imminent when it adversely affects a signed bout, ticket and publicity-wise, as Helen did. Yes, that's what I'm talking about right there, Leif. That's the sort of stuff I'm talking about right there. Evening, my brother. What would help a boxing is a syndicate. Maybe. So judges get pulled up, promoters get pulled up, and then fighters get pulled up. We start to clean the sport up. We start to clean the sport up. But this needs to happen. And it needs to happen sooner rather than later. Another thing that needs to happen, and this is part of the toxic in boxing, blame the promoter again. I remember a time where Hearn had Frampton in his camp. And Frampton was the best fighter in the world. He was brilliant. He was going to destroy Scott Quigg. And then Frampton left his ass. And then he got Scott Quigg. And he said, Frampton's not the best in the world now. Scott Quigg's the best in the world. I think, here we go. I love the people who defend Eddie in the fallout of Fury versus AJ. He knew there was a pending arbitration, so he's a fault as well. Of course he is. Do you remember? It was the Hearns that said that they look at boxing fans as mugs. They need Fury is an example here of where lies and all this propaganda has caused so much issues. Think about all the boxing fans around the world that have saved good money to fly out to watch Fury versus Wilder 3. Don't you think they deserve an explanation as to why this fight is not happening? Don't they think the heavyweight champion of the world should be responsible enough to do an interview and say, you know what, I'm sorry to all those people who've paid for tickets and hotel rooms and hard-earned money and hard cash. Look, I'm sorry, but the fight's not on. I got COVID. And, I'm sorry for being so irresponsible. That's a champion of class. You do that. You front up and say, you know what? I didn't get it right. I was a bit slack in camp. Or just come out and say, you know what? I'm not fit. I've been fast-assing around. I don't really want to fight Wilder, and this is what's going on. Tell us the truth. Tell us the truth. Don't have us guessing. Tell us the truth. Too many lies, too much rubbish. The problem is we never get the big fights. We just get picked opponents because the promoters are getting away with it. If boxing fans kept no money in the pocket and said, you know what? I'm not buying this crap. And then their ticket sales start to go. I mean, I don't see anyone going to boycott Hearn because of the shit he said about AJ and Fury. And he takes the boxing fans as mugs. And boxing fans allow this crap and allow these low standards. So they just keep on keeping on and they keep taking the piss. That's why you can charge £750 for a ticket. Taking the piss. Frank Warren is not involved in AJ Fury negotiations. Hell, I don't even think Fury Wilder 3 was going to land on BT box office. Tells you something, doesn't it? Another thing, if every 5 years a promoter, in order to renew his license, has to have an independent body verify transparency and the basis of to determine if he gets his license, that should happen. But there's a problem because there's mobs involved in boxing, and so anybody who doesn't, if he's an independent, they may get some rough treatment, get a few knocks at the door, if you get what I mean. This is here. If he gets so many strikes and points, he loses the license, which means his fighters can't fight during suspension. Yes. Same with the judges. Let the judges get that as well. Promotional license should work just as UK license in terms of the point system. Yes, do it. Eddie Hearn has done a lot. His fight is dirty in recent times. He's not just done his fight in decent times. He's always been doing his fight is dirty. I've been saying this for years. You see, every time I say these things, people turn around and say, you're talking rubbish. Remember I told you about Josh Warrington? You saw how that worked out. Remember I told you about Billy Joe Saunders? You saw how that worked out. Should I continue? Oh, he signs with Hearn. Yeah, he's going to get lots of TV coverage. Yeah, he's going to get paid. Yeah, he's going to get guaranteed to get completely trashed. He's going to get stuck in a fight over his head, not because the promoter cares for him, but the promoter's trying to get quick cash out of him, quick cash out and get you off his books. That's what it is. I'll go get you a world title fight. I promise you in the contract, I'm going to get you a world title fight. I'll get you a world title fight. You might not win the world. You might stand a chance winning the fights, but it don't matter. You get a world title fight, so that's it. Fury has pissed a lot of people off. Well, it's nothing new. This is what happens when people elevate people in positions they don't belong. This is what happens when you hype people up that don't deserve to be hyped in the way they're hyped up. This is what happens when you put people who lack character and integrity and you put them in a level where character and integrity matters. This is what happens. You know what I mean? Again, it's not about the color of your skin, but it's about the content of your heart. It's about what you do in these situations. He's pissed a lot of people out with no explanation. Of course, it's like Fury immediately fled the country like a criminal. Well, not only saved good money to go. Those people are having a hard time getting back their money. Many won't. I will never buy a ticket to a Fury fight, even if it was in my next door neighbor's yard. Wow. You remember when Fury was criticizing David Haye about pulling out of fights? Well, there's 2 fights he's pulled out of now, is it not? So I would call that pretty hypocritical, if I do say so myself. Remember when Mike Tyson parted Frank Warren's hairline? He got his act together quick. Imagine if more fighters did that to their promoters. Hell, we've heard about champions documentaries, but nowadays mandatories avoid champions. Muinga and Andrade, of course. Recent cases. for Hearn include Kid Galahad, Callum Johnson, to name 2. Yeah, well, is what it is. Made Warrington vacate, even though the fight could have easily been made. Yeah, but that is Hearn for you. Ahara Davies said this 5 years ago about Eddie. How many years ago I said about Eddie? I've been saying it for donkeys. A lot of things I say are coming to pass. I told you about the old fighters coming back and fighting. That's what's happening now. Eddie fed Kell Brook to GG for his own gain, in my opinion. Of course. Facts. This is where I told you. And you see, I have zero sympathy. You see these fighters, they run to Eddie Hearn. You ever watched a whole load of... What they do is, we're signing Eddie Hearn. We get to fight a matchroom. We get to fight on Sky Sports. You also get to get smashed up on Sky Sports. You watch the careers of these guys. Like a car... It's like you're seeing car crash after car crash after car crash after car crash. And you come along with your car expecting not to get into a car crash as well. It's crazy. Who advises these fighters? Who advises fighters to go and sign with him? All we have to do is open the books up and look. So what is the lure? And there are other times I've seen fighters as well. Scott Quigg. And for promoting fights, was it Scott Quigg went to Northern Ireland? It was for the Frampton fight, to get the Frampton fight. Promote was nowhere to be seen. Fury basically pulled out of Wilder rematch, then fought 2 other fights first. Frank Warren does stick with his fighters like he did with Dubois, and even though Frampton was pretty much finished. Well, as for Dubois, and people keep missing the trick there, he signed Dubois to a 5-year contract before Dubois fought Joyce. So even if Dubois lost, he still had Dubois for another 5 years. Ingram strikes again. Well, exactly. Fury's camp criticised Davies for hard sparring so close to the bout when Hay got cut. Now we have Fury not being careful about COVID, if it's COVID, because according to Dave Higgins, the manager of Joseph Parker, he hasn't got COVID. Ingram was on time like the Big Bang Bong. Just to fight 2 ESPN jokers and one bust his eye, the other he kissed. With Hearn, baby. Yeah, with Hearn. That's right. It's true. It's true. You can earn, but you can have a short career. You see, I've said it. O'Coley's been lucky so far, and Buaxi's been lucky so far. But it's only a matter of time before they get into car crash fights as well. You can see it. What is the lure? Why do you keep going to a man that keeps crashing people's careers? I don't understand it. And this is not a bash Hearn hour. It's not only even Bob Arum. Let's go to Bob Arum. Look what he's doing in Terence Crawford's career. I want to know the truth about that relationship between Crawford and Arum. Is it true that Arum is trying to stifle Crawford's career? Or is it that Crawford just doesn't want heat and doesn't want to fight top opposition? Because he's not back a Porter fight, not back a Thurman fight. Spence fight's not being made. Tell me. And what is he doing to close on that Spence fight? What is he doing to make himself a household name? What is he doing to increase his brand? Nothing. 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 Frank Warren in the past year has managed to get Lyndon Arthur ranked number 1, Zach Potter ranked number 1, Sonny Edwards world champion, managed to get Frank to the world title shot, and Dubois WBA interim belt. But Frank is a boss. Frank is a boss. I've always said Frank is a boss. Hearn is show. Frank is substance. Can't put the two in the same. Different class, different gravy, mate. That's what it is. I'm going to make you a star, son. Eddie Hearn wins. No, he's going to get more money in his back pocket. Star what? He can't make no damn star. Listen, all those years he's had Anthony Joshua, Would you say Anthony Joshua is a global superstar? I wouldn't say he's a global superstar, because the first thing you need to do is crack America. And the first opportunity you had to crack America, if Flipping had the opportunity to crack America, he could have fought Trevor Bryan. Instead, he had to fight Andy Ruiz, because he didn't want to do business with the promoter. Ego, I tell you, ego. Bernard claimed it's only Fury and FA had COVID, after initially saying that many as 9 out of 10 they came at it. Well, we know that Anderson has not got COVID, and we know I heard that FA Jaguar hasn't got COVID either, so I don't know what they're going with the story for. Aaron will run Josh Taylor's career, ruining Josh Taylor's career, giving him Crawford fight when there's still good fights at 140. Oscar De La Hoya did the same thing, throwing Salid Ali in there with Moinga. They were publicly laughing, talking about Moinga before winning the fight. Eric Gomez smirking, despicable. Yeah, well, we've still got De La Hoya and those racist emails that were going back and forth, and Bernard Hopkins was part of the team. Bobby's making a mess of Crawford's career, and he's also trying to make Crawford unattractive to any other promoters. That's Crawford's fault. I blame Crawford. He went to re-sign with them. Surprised Crawford has done a Mayweather and bought his own contract out. All these fighters should be free agents and be their own boss. Well, that's what Augie Harrison tried to do. But there were promoters in the UK that did not like that, what Harrison was encouraging. That's why Harrison got so much shit thrown at him, because he was encouraging fighters to be their own boss, be their own promoter. That's what it was all about, because that was losing promoters money by people going their own way. Hence, after A4, so you would call him AFAS, after that, we had Hamid Promotions, Hatton Promotions, Lewis went and did his own thing as well. So, Augie Harrison was almost a pioneer for it. No. Hearn ruined Josh Kelly's career big time, throwing him with Avesanya. Well, not just Hearn, but Adam Booth. Adam Booth has gone missing, hasn't he? The greatest trainer in the UK, according to some of the guys in the chat who go hiding. And it's interesting. Some of the guys that jump in the chat and have a lot to say, in the last couple of days, the last few chats I've had, particularly addressing this issue on racism, they've gone missing. They're not even in the chat, but they're probably one of the 7 disliked the video what I was doing. Anyway, back to things. Adam Booth was saying, Josh Kelly is the most talented fighter I've ever trained. You must be lying, because Josh Kelly is not more talented than David Haye. So I don't know what you're talking about there. He's not more talented than George Groves, and he's not more talented than Mike Perez. So I don't know where he come out the idea of saying that Josh Kelly was the most talented fighter he's ever trained. That was a little rubbish as well. AJ only met the guy in charge of payments the year he was beaten by Ruiz. How do you not know who releases the checks? Some star. Oh boy. Bob Arum is so damn wicked. He'll tell guys in medical danger, son, you're getting in that ring. You're going in there. Yep. He's not the only one who's done it. It's like the movie Caddick Records, where the label owner tells Chuck Berry, I'm going to make you a star. I'm going to make you rich. Chuck says, let's switch places. LOL. It's true. Josh Kelly got a draw out in America and Hearn decided to throw him in. Well, he decided to throw him in, but remember, when that fight cancelled before, and also remember, Adam Booth endorsed the fight. He said, Josh Kelly's looking great. Never seen him look better in the gym. And another thing that should be barred as well, mates commenting on mates in commentary. Like having Tony talking about Derek Chisora. How can you flipping have your best mate or your good close mate talking about you you're meant to be impartial, doing commentary of boxing? You know, when I was listening to Ian Dark, the commentator who's on ESPN now, for doing ESPN football. There's a guy that was a world-class commentator. No bias. He just called it like it is. This is what's going to happen. These are the two fighters, and let's see how it... And I was listening to him commentate on the football as well. Even though he's English, he gave you a fair commentary. Fair commentary. You remember, if the media is biased, if the promoters are biased, if the commentators are biased, if the advertisers are biased, surely the fans are going to be biased too, right? If the commentators are promoting racism indirectly, if the promoters are the commentators, the promoters, the managers, they're all promoting a racist agenda, you're not going to have toxic racist fans. You know what I mean? One evening I'm gonna show the Cooney versus Holmes fight. I want to look at the story behind that, because that was pushed a lot, really pushed a lot. The racism that between, you know. So we got here. And where's my mouse gone? It goes here. David Haye had so much potential because of his mismanagement. He never saw his full potential. I think that's why Haye jumped to help Chisora in the twilight of his career. Haye jumped to help Chisora in the twilight of his career because his money bag's there. And I suppose Chisora said, you know what? Don't need you no more. This could be the last fight of my career. I need to make as much money as possible in the last few fights of my career, and I don't need your help anymore. Thank you very much. Yeah, he was going to throw him in 2 years earlier. Eddie Hearn threw Josh Kelly in there with the line to get beat. Kelly was no Prophet Daniel in the lion's den. Damn. Yeah, well, it is what it is. We saw it coming. We all saw it coming. There are people in there who will say Josh Kelly could beat Sean Porter and Errol Spence. Stop it. Aaron should force Fury so then we can have the trilogy. Fury probably isn't in shape, to be honest. Glenn McCrory wasn't biased either. Matt Killin and Smith are dreadfully hopeful. Hopefully Costello does good at the zone and doesn't get biased. He'll get biased too. He'll get biased. Just probably why they signed him, to be biased. Glenn McCrory, he's a good man. Went out one night with him, and it was a fantastic night. It was me, Porky, and Glenn, and it was a fantastic night out in Sheffield. I would say when I talk about my life and you want to go highlights of nights, that was a fantastic night. Shout out to Porky. That was a great night, Porky. And it was a great night. Sat there and talked to McCrory about a lot of deep subjects, a lot of real close personal things. Shared there are a lot of similarities in terms of things happening in our personal lives. And it was just great to sit down. There were times as I was drinking my Malibu, sipping on my Malibu Coke, I'm then talking, damn, I'm talking to Glenn McCrory. You know, also, if you go on BWTM online, there's a whole, actually it might be on BWTM Sports. There was an evening where Glenn McCrory spoke about his time with Mike Tyson. So when he was sparring Mike Tyson, the whole story is on BWTM Sports. If you type in Glenn McCrory BWTM Sports, you'll see it up there. It was a fascinating night watching Glenn McCrory talk about his career, how he met Mike Tyson and sparring with Mike Tyson. It's all propaganda condition, of course it is. Trainers should stay away from promoters because there's a temptation for being for sale and influencing the fighter to do what the promoter wants, although the trainer knows it's not best. Well, yeah, here's another way that promoters influence fighters and fighting styles. If you're a guy that's a counter boxer, counter puncher, and the promoter said, you know, you're not really saying ticket sales and, you know, you need to be more fan friendly. That guy's career, from having longevity, from boxing and moving and looking slick, suddenly now that guy has to become a brawler, has to change his style to be more entertaining for fans. I don't think that's fair. I don't even think that's right. Boxing's about getting hit, is hit and not getting hit. Anything other than that stance, for me, is anti-boxing. And there's a lot of anti-boxing fans who claim to like boxing, but do not appreciate a man making a man miss and making him pay. sitting in the pocket and doing all those things don't appreciate that. So that is, but then you've got numbskulls commentating who don't understand. So that's another thing as well. Sky Sports are about, in my bad book, saying Fury is frustrated for catching COVID. Biased media. Of course it is. Of course it is. Because there's always a possibility in the future Sky Sports and Tyson Fury may work together in the future. Who knows how long that contract is with Frank? And could that contract with Frank come to an end? I knew Josh Kelly was not up to par when he was doing all that Roy Joe stuff, but not stepping up and doing it on other people. First step up, KO'd. Well, that's it. I still don't understand how Chisora can still stop a pay-per-view bill. Personality, bit of craziness. Your Wi-Fi is first right tonight, Ingram. Whatever you're doing with it, keep it up. If you say so, mate. What word did you say? Seeing boxing now, I can understand why Customer was so distrustful of promoters and the business and retreated from the public eye. Yeah, but you can understand why Al Heyman is the way he is. Trainers shouldn't be managers of the same fighter. Joe Gallagher has stalled a lot of his fighters' careers. Yeah, well, there should be some rule about that as well. Deontay Wilder chaos everybody. He windmills. Floyd putting on boxing clinics. He's boring. Make up your minds, casuals. But that's what I'm saying to you. That's what I'm saying. But a lot of that crap comes from the promoter. That comes from promoter. You know what I mean? That comes from promoter. So I blame the promoters. I blame the promoters stroke media outlets. Responsible reporting. That's what we want. That's what we need. But I know that speaking the truth and speaking on subjects like this don't attract the views. But I don't care about that. I'm going to keep on talking about these things. I have half an hour, less than half an hour to go to turn to 45. Let's keep talking. What are your predictions for the fight camp main events? People are saying Ben Granados and Buatsi will like this mismatch. Listen, I'll say it again. That boy Bolotniks, I like him. I think he's got a good shot of beating Buatsi. He's got a good shot. Good. He's got a very good jab. He's got an extremely good jab. You know, he's got a thudding left jab there. And he tucks it very nicely. The right hand, he likes to slip off his shoulder. He's also trained by Marius Breeders, and that's probably the reason why I like Blockness. He beat Jose, but he's been on a nice run, 4-5 fights. He's a guy that's dangerous, very, very dangerous. He's going to be a tough fight for Buatsi, as he can punch, takes a good shot, he's defensively responsible, and puts his punch together nicely. But I love his jab. He's got a wicked left jab. Really wicked left jab. Chisora's willingness to take tough fights is part why I support him. Although being in the US, I don't have pay-per-view to see him. Okay? Facts, Ingram. Thank you very much. I think if Buatsi can KO Blackness, it's a very impressive victory. He will make a real statement in the 1-5-7-5 division. I think, yeah, he does. I think it's a very good performance if Buatsi can do it. But he's got the jab to shut Buatsi down, back Buatsi up, and he punches on. And watch it. He throws a knife. It's 1-2, but that left hook to the body. Watch it. Whack that left hook to the body. Watch his fight against not Price, I think Ultimate Fighter, I think it was. Oh no, it was the Golden Contract. Watch his fight, the Golden Contract, Bolotniks. Guy is dangerous. You've been warned. He's dangerous. He's set up nicely. Ingram, your voice as someone understanding the ugly underbelly of boxing, along with the public face, is so needed. Thank you, man. Well, all I can say is that I would not be surprised if instead of passing the torch, Pac-Man beats Spence with the damn thing instead. Listen to me. If Spence can't find Pac-Man with a jab, if you can't set that jab up to land those other shots, he's in big trouble. Because if Pac-Man's got an in and out movement, the Spence can be tends to be very flat-footed. if he's flat-footed and following Manny around the ring, he could walk onto one of them left hands. I'm telling you, Manny's dangerous in this fight. But he might be able to nullify that left hand better because he's a left-hander. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Let's 40, about 20 minutes. Let's talk a bit more. Let's talk about you know what? What I might to see if I can do this. Yes, he beat Jose Burton convincingly and knocked out Stephen Ward in 1 round. His record is truly the true reputation of don't judge a book by its cover. Yes, that's what I'm saying. And you know, Matchroom like to mismatch fights. Listen, you stick a little 20 quid on this guy. You know, it ain't money bad. It isn't money badly spent. I do think Boatsy is highly overrated. Highly overrated. I think he's good, but I think he's overrated. If Pacman starts moving side to side and going into Spence's blindside, then sometimes pinning him on the ropes, god damn, man, he might flip Father Time the Bird. I know. What would Manny Pacquiao end up like if Hearn had managed him in his 20s? Flipping hell. Don't know. Mismanaged. That's what it would have been. Spence will grind Pac down, man down. Well, he didn't grind down Mikey Garcia. He didn't grind down Danny Garcia. He didn't grind down Sean Porter. So I'm not sure where he's grinding down Manny Pacquiao. That's the thing. Manny Pacquiao is better than what's his name? Mikey Garcia. Boatsy versus Dos Santos on paper wasn't a mismatch, but I think it was. Yeah, but that was a gimme fight. I thought I didn't watch the fight even. I didn't bother watching it. Yes, they do. Mismatch room. Yep. Yard would destroy Boatsy. I think he would have beaten Boatsy. Destroyed him would have been interesting, but I think he would have beaten him. Mismatch. Lev Gramerson says, imagine if Pacman had brought himself out of contract in 2011. Whoa. Imagine if Terence Crawford had not re-signed with our friend Bob and joined PBC. Exactly. That's something. You got a point, Ingram. Yep. And I think that Manny will hit Spence with punches that Danny Garcia couldn't. Or any of the other guys could. Speed. So, but I think that Derek James is going to have a wicked game plan. He'll have a wicked game plan. But he's known that Manny Pacquiao was dangerous as of last year and the year before. So they're not going to the Manny Pacquiao fight thinking Manny Pacquiao is not dangerous. It's risky. Frank and Eddie picking out these undefeated European fighters who have fought fighters with bad records is dangerous. One day they'll seriously get hurt, like what happened to Santos. Yep. I can't type. It's laughing. Yeah, if Bud jumped the fence over Al Haymon, that would be huge. Yeah, it would be. But I'm just talking it from a business perspective. Bud Crawford is not a big ticket seller. Why? Isn't that the responsibility of the promoter? Undisputed champion? Moves up WBO champion? Not promoted well enough. But a guy who's not undisputed, in Lomachenko, was getting promoted all the time. Tells you, doesn't it? Yard was going to fight a guy who was 12-0, but his last win was against a fighter with a positive record, came in 2016. Wow. Okay. What happened to Yard's rematch with Arthur? Yeah, it's coming. I think that's probably the next fight, but Arthur's team was saying it's not. I like Arthur. Ingram, did you find Povetkin White to be suspicious? Povetkin looked drunk before the fight, and even when he got hit with a punch, he was stumbling around. Yes. Yes, he had the same stumbling look that Deontay Wilder had when he fought Fury the second fight. I said that before. That anyone who many pins on the ropes and hits them with the 8-punch combination, gives them the bob head, man, it's near. Povetkin had COVID. That's what they say. They say Wilder had COVID, but anyone can have COVID now. You could drug a fighter, and you could say they got COVID. But I've said it. The guy was drugged. Wilder was drugged. Klitschko was drugged. Joshua was drugged. Joshua was drugged for sure. He was drugged. I'm sure Anthony Joshua was drugged when he fought Andy Ruiz. The first round, the way he came into the ring, he looked drugged. Oh, wow. Brother. Wow. Let me go back here. Let me check this a second. Wow. Thank you so much, brother. Have a pint on me tomorrow, Ingram. Wishing you a great birthday. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. That's my boy there, Leif Gramerson, showing the love. Much appreciated. Let's go back to his comments now. So I believe that Wilder, Klitschko, Stavern, Povetkin, all of them, as far as I'm concerned, were all drugged. Honestly, where's Dillian White's career going now? He's 33. Good conversation. Good point. He's only 33. Heavyweights mature late. So it's not so much where he's going. It's where he's been. That's the problem. Those back-to-back pay-per-views he did with those tough back-to-back tough fights, back-to-back, I believe has taken something out of Dillian White's body and his durability. I truly believe that. The question is, I don't know how much she's got left. That's what I feel. I think that a long COVID is a mother on the legs for a boxer. Oh, okay. I think in the first AJ was still working with a concussion from being put out in sparring, just my opinion. Yeah, okay. You can, if you're that seriously concussed, you shouldn't be getting in the ring. If you're that seriously concussed, you shouldn't be getting in the ring. So I don't believe he was concussed. I believe he was drugged. He got in the ring. He looked completely out of it. Didn't look right. And then when he went back to corner, he says, why am I feeling like this? And when he said, why am I feeling like this? McCracken just kept talking to him. I'm convinced he was drugged. Convinced. Dillian White's been in proper wars. I think that's put miles on his chin. I believe so too. To crack more than once. What are your thoughts on Warrington Lara 2 card? Haven't seen the card, but I've got nothing to suggest that Warrington beats Lara. I think Warrington gets smashed by Lara again. Just telling you. I think he gets smashed by Lara again. Wilder look like a zombie. Why do those who cry foul for White never to get a WBC shot ignore that he turned down a shot at 3 belts versus AJ during the same time? Well, I think he turned it down because, you see, another thing these promoters need to do is be honest about contracts. Did you know, for example, let me give you an example of a contract. Contract might be, okay, I'm the number 1 contender, right? But I'm not mandatory. I'm the number 1 contender. I'm the number 1 contender, but I'm not mandatory. So no, okay, I'm number 2. I'm not number 1. I'm number 2, right? And I want to fight AJ, right? And if I fight AJ, if I beat AJ, then the stipulation is that I ultimately sign for Matchroom, and for the next 5 fights, they promote my next 5 fights. If I beat AJ. You hear that? If I beat AJ, the next 5 fights, I get promoted by matchroom. And they take 35 or 40% of my earnings. So you can get your world title fight. But if you win your world title fight, it's like you're losing. You don't win at the end of that. You lose at the end of that. I've heard contracts by British promoters that have said, you sign for us, you'll get $500,000. Your second fight will be 250,000. And your third fight will be 100,000. And your final fight will be 50,000. Thing is, people don't look at how the money's been reduced fight by fight. They see the $500,000 first. And their contracts like that. Oh, you won't take the fight. Well, have you looked at the contract? Have you seen the contract? Have you seen the contract? So I've seen some of these contracts. You'd be surprised at things I've seen in boxing. You'd be surprised. Ted Cheeseman getting into another possible war with Troy Williamson could end up being punch drunk, and he's only 28, 26. Yeah, well, who is managing this guy? Who's managing these young fighters? Do you think AJ struggles with Usyk? I think Usyk comes in heavy. I think Usyk comes in heavier. And I just don't think Usyk's the same fighter. And I don't think he's got any better. I don't think by him bulking up and getting bigger is going to make him even better. I think he's going to be even slower still. No, I don't think AJ struggles with Usyk. I think he blows Usyk out of there, actually. I really do. I really do believe that. I just don't think Usyk's look great. You know, when I look at fighters and I look at fighters' patterns, you have to show me something in 3 or 4 fights that you're on the incline or you're in the improvement. That's why when Dillian White was coming to fight Povetkin, I was looking at a form guide coming in. Povetkin had come off some good wins. Price, Fury, who else did he fight? He'd come off some good wins. And then he fought, what's his name? Michael Hunter. He'd come off good wins. He beat Hunter because he knocked him down. He wasn't given the knockdown. So it was a draw. But I rated Povetkin's performances. I thought, he's in form. He's the form guy. He's going to knock Dillian White out. So you got to watch guys' forms going in. Right? So when I look at Usyk's form going in, his form doesn't look great. It didn't look great against Bellew. I've said it before. It didn't look good against Chaz Witherspoon. It didn't look great against. It had life and death in Chisora. So now he's going to fight Anthony Joshua and he's just going to blow for Anthony Joshua. No, not happening. I'm convinced that the heavy sex that Wilder brags about before fights got him in his legs in the rematch with Fury. Bomb squad indeed. Yeah, I see his wife a lot now on TV. I see her a lot. She's a lot on TV and on the entertainment channel. So, yeah, I don't go out to see her, but she's there. So I understand. I get it. Wasn't there no rematch clause in that one? I don't know what I don't know what the clause were. Joshua was trying to control the terms of the rematch, even if White won. Same thing he did with the Tuileries. There you go. So that's why White weren't having it. I've noticed that everyone who fought AJ fought multiple fights for the zone matchroom afterwards. There you go. There you go. So that's right in it there. Proving the pudding is in the eating. It's not true, or Wilder would be like a zombie every fight. That's it. So you got to look at how a guy fights. Look at a guy's track record, how he fights, and then look at the way he fought against Fury. The second fight didn't look right. Since AJ became champion, that is, yeah, there you go. You got it right there. 5 minutes to 12. These contracts are like the equivalent of 360 record deals. Ted Cheeseman and Sam Egerton sound like a breakfast duo. I mean, Usyk was down on the cards against a shot belly at cruiserweight. Can't imagine him doing much at AJ heavyweight. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I now know what you mean. Usyk was a threat at cruiserweight, not heavyweight. What threat is he? When you want to talk about a threat at heavyweight division, look how Evander Holyfield came into the heavyweight division. I remember watching Evander Holyfield come into the heavyweight division, and he fought Alison Rodriguez. I remember Rodriguez, big heavyweight, strong heavyweight, and this heavyweight Rodriguez had already beaten Johnny Nelson twice. I think he beat him twice at heavyweight. But anyway, I remember watching the fight, Holyfield with this square haircut, and he was there, and he's bobbing, Holyfield was bobbing. And then Rodriguez started throwing his punches on Holyfield. Boom, boom, Rodriguez. And Holyfield started shifting. And I see what he does against a big guy. And I remember Holyfield timed him with one overhand right. Boom! Straight down the pipe. Boom! And laid Rodriguez out flat. And the spit was coming out of Rodriguez's mouth when he's on the cameras like that. And I thought, that's a heavyweight debut. That's a heavyweight debut. When you step up to heavyweight and you make a statement. Like when David Hayes stepped to the heavyweight division. And he blew that guy away in about what? That I think it was Ukrainian. He blew him around about, or Swedish, in about 50 seconds. And then even when he fought, what's the guy in his name again? Who came through the ropes and fell over. Even that fight was exciting. So Hay made an announcement. And even when he was heavyweight champion, he made an announcement. He did well against the Ruiz fight, you know. Forget the Harrison fight. I like the Ruiz fight. It was quite fun. The way he dropped Ruiz in the first 30 seconds to a minute. I'm like, not even Holyfield did that. You know, but the same Ruiz who got sparked out by Michael Moorer. Was it Michael Moorer got knocked out? No, got knocked out by Davey Tua. So yeah, Usyk was clearly losing that belly fight at cruiserweight before that KO. By the way, it's 3 minutes to 12. So whoever's in this room at 12 o'clock, please just smash the like button and smash the happy birthday. I don't think we'll ever see Wilder look like that again. We won't. Do you think Luis Ortiz still poses a threat at heavyweight? No. I never thought he posed a threat at heavyweight. I never thought he posed a threat at heavyweight. Never. Because, and I said this before, I hate saying I said this before, but I did. When you look at heavyweight fighters' career, or if you look at any fighter's career, the one thing you got to look at is how many punches do they face? And you look at Luis Ortiz's record, he never fought any punches. So I thought, this guy, and I learned this when I was training in America, when you got a guy that's managed to avoid big punches, look carefully at that. Look carefully at that. And what do you notice afterwards? When he fought a big puncher, you saw what happened to him. And by the way, I think Luis Ortiz got knocked out in his amateurs. Got knocked out cold in the amateurs at light heavy. So, yeah, I was never convinced about Luis Ortiz's ability to take heavy punches. Belly was coming off a long layoff and down from heavyweight and gave Usyk fits. There you go. How good do you think Rodriguez fares against Donaire, Casimiro, and Inu? Don't know. Well, I reckon they'll beat Donaire already. So he beat Donaire. We'll have to see, but I know he beat Donaire, that's for sure. Ruiz or Dillian should fight Ortiz. And Evander Holyfield was a smallish heavyweight and more than held his own. 4 times undisputed heavyweight champion in the world. He's etched in stone. He is. He's my man. And he's been on BWTM Sports. Evander, the real deal Holyfield. And I always wanted to ask him the question. I just wanted to ask Evander the question about that video game. I always wanted to know what he thought of the video game. Didn't know anything about the video game. He didn't even play video games. So that's endorsement for you. Hit the like button, people. Of course, please do. Glad seeing you with us for another year, Ingram. And with that three secrets to you gave us, I'm trying to implement them. Wish me luck. Okay, what were the 3 keys? Yes, absolutely. Wilders are different animals, though. They are all avoided Ortiz for a reason. Ruga beats Donaire easy, but they've all slowed down. Happy birthday. It's midday. It's midnight. Yes. Thank you for another year. Thank you for another year. The 45th year the 45th year. 45. 45. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What happened to round for round? I don't know. You tell me. Happy birthday. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. I want to watch a fight. I think we should watch a fight together for my birthday. I want to watch something. I don't know what to watch. I want to watch a fight. Oh, we should watch a fight. I don't know what. Happy birthday, Ingram. Said, good wife, good food, good sex. You know what you said, big fella. Yeah, but you never responded to me. You never told what you thought. Happy birthday. Thank you. There's a new boxing game coming out. I know, John Sutherland. Are you working with them? Eat lots of cake. I've got to take some cake for when I go and do cricket coaching on Saturday. I coach a lot of ladies, so I've got to give them some cake on Saturday. So I won't be eating any cake on Sunday. I'll have to have some cake for my birthday, of course. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What should I do? We can't call it a pre-birthday stream. We've got to change the stream. I've got to change the banner now. Do something. We should do something. I think we should. I really think we should watch a boxing bout. I don't know which boxing bout to put on. Well, it's not. Where's that pre? Why does it say pre? Why does it say that? There we go. It's here. No, it shouldn't be doing that. Why is it doing that? Fight. And you know what I'll do? Actually, I might just put that Holyfield Rodriguez fight up. That would be good to watch. Right. I think I'll do that. Holyfield versus Rodriguez. I'll show you guys a fight. Watch along. Let's see if I can get it for you. Let's get it up. So I can get it out for you guys and we can watch that. Come on. Can I get it up? Let's see if I can get it for you. Come on, will you? Oh, it's so annoying. There's lots of comments in there. I'm trying to implement England. I'm on the trial for implementation. I'll let you know if you put it in practice. Did you see Arsenal yesterday? No, I didn't. God awful performance. Glad I didn't see him. Thank you, brother. Rescore while the Fury won. I can't do that, bro. I have problems in it. What should you differentiate? You're wicked. Do you think who wins Andrade versus GGG? Andrade now, I think. Sorry, brother. Phone's bugging. Didn't mean to hide you. And I unbidden. I don't know what it means. Okay, let me see if I can. I'm trying to get this. Oh, here we go. We've got it up now. Finally. Here we go. Let's get it up. Let's get that fight. The screen's not great. The video's not great, but it is a long time ago. Let's get this up for you. Escape that. Okay. Let's see if we can get this fight up. Okay, let's see if we can get here. Okay. me get that up there. And let's watch along. And let's get this up now. Screen there. Bang. It's Evander Holyfield versus making his heavyweight debut.
Oh,
come on. Come on.
14-11 against the Brazilian.
Actually, this is exactly how I saw it when I was...
As well. It's definitely Holyfield's biggest opponent, this one.
And we're watching this at home.
About him as he defends this title, Holyfield. One big question is whether he's got the power to take out the very big man.
There you go. Question his power already.
Mind you, excellent win in his last fight, Holyfield, stopping Mike Dokes in 10 back in March, and that really proved that he's a legitimate contender at heavyweight.
So he fought Mike Dokes before this fight.
Of course, his speed will help him.
This is the same Alison Rodriguez that actually beat Johnny Nelson as well, by the way. I sort of didn't know that.
Fighting Mike Tyson in Rio, but the state of the Brazilian economy ruled that one out. Rodriguez, though, has taken care of a couple of British heavies. Dave Garside in 3 rounds and Hugh Roy Curry in 8. And he's also got a very debatable victory over Bone Crusher Smith, some controversy over the scoring. But this a big chance for the Brazilian as well. And certainly starting off full of confidence. Not overawed at all by Holyfield. And a good start by the challenger in Brew. Holyfield just measured him with a right.
This was on either on a Wednesday or a Monday night, midweek sports special. That's before they used to stream live fights in the UK.
Rodriguez coming forward.
We didn't know about Sky then or bloody pay-per-view.
Got Angelo Dundee looking after him, and if he looks a little bit podgy to you, that's all part of the plan here. Dundee quite happy to let his man come in his natural weight. But he says he's so strong, you could hit him with a baseball bat and he won't be hurt. And if he gets through to Holyfield, it could be a problem for him.
See?
Holyfield picking him off with that snappy jab. And a good competitive opening round. Caesar's Lake Tahoe. And Holyfield just coming on strong in the last few seconds. But so far, the Brazilian challenger has given a good account of himself. He's dropped the instructions from Lou Duva.
Holyfield Lewis 1 is up there. Holyfield Lewis 1. It's disgusting. There you go. You talk about real trainers there. Georgie Benton. See Georgie Benton there?
His corner definitely keen on Holyfield working harder with the jab.
This is the second round. You'll see how Rodriguez actually tries to test Evander Holyfield. And then he gets the shock of his life.
Second round then. Holyfield 17 of his 21 victories inside the distance.
I think any of those matchroom cards. There we go. Here it comes.
Goodness me, the Brazilians, you can see them in the background there, warming to their man's challenge. It's a brave one, certainly. He's giving his all, is Rodriguez. But he's so well tucked up, Holyfield. Got a good defense. But get ready to get through to the Brazilian.
Wait for the overhand right, people.
Giving away a fair bit of weight, don't forget, is Holyfield.
I always remember this. This is why I fell in this fight made me fall in love with Evander Holyfield.
It's ahead, the elbow's going in too. Good stuff inside from Holyfield.
It's coming, it's coming.
And that's a great shot from Holyfield.
Wait for it, here it comes.
Brazilian there inside.
Bang!
Got him down with a right too.
Oh!
To get up from that.
Still looks beautiful.
Marvellous piece of work from Evander Holyfield.
Woo!
Rodriguez will be counted out here.
That's how you make a heavyweight
Softened him up
statement.
inside. And absolutely poleaxed him with a right. And look at the delight from Lou Duva. Started slowly, got the measure of his man, took everything he had to offer. His confidence flowed in the Brazilian and then just took him out.
Ah, there's another fight that comes to my mind that I want to show.
Too from Holyfield. He didn't need a baseball bat. His fists were strong enough.
That's how you make it. That's how you make a statement in the heavyweight division.
He's still receiving attention.
That's what he would have done. That's what he would have done to Chaz Witherspoon.
He hurt him inside first of all.
Boom!
But it was that big right hand.
It's a back in time. Look at his legs.
Anyone who says that Holyfield hasn't got the power to live with the heavyweights, well, just take a look at this.
Oh, look at that. I missed this era. Look at that. Hey, you know another fight I want to put on?
Right on the top of the head.
You know what? One more fight I want to watch tonight.
Never going to come back from that.
This one's just pure funny.
Performance by Evander Holyfield, but Jim, are we looking at someone who's really just a beefed-up cruiserweight?
Beefed-up cruiserweight.
Well, history has proved very few men can come up from the division below to defeat a good heavyweight champion. Tyson is an exceptionally good heavyweight champion. Holyfield, a real class act himself, but he's picked a terrible time to challenge for the heavyweight title. I don't think he'll be big enough. I think he's good enough to give a show, but I certainly don't think he's big enough.
Yeah, that has not aged well with Jim, what has it? And we'll put one more fight on, but this one is this is one of my favorite fights. Another one of my favorite fighters, but it's a British fight I'm going to show you now, and it's a very short fight as well. And guess what? It involves a matchroom fighter. Let's see if we can get this one. Yeah. So basically, this is a good one. I like this one. If I can get it to play, please play. Come on. Yeah. This fight was promoted by Matchroom fight.
Brentwood, the British heavyweight title about to be decided.
Sit back and enjoy.
Building up. And some
Sit back and enjoy.
boxing faces here. Billy Walker, of course, a very popular and glamorous heavyweight.
Gary
Charlie Mantry,
Mason,
a former world champion. Michael Watson, Jim McDonald, Lloyd
versus
Hannigan. A tremendous clutch of personalities here.
Jess
As
Hardy.
we await the entry of the fighters, let's join our commentators. Jim
See
Watt
if you
and
can
Rick
spot
Guthridge.
them.
Well, there you are. It's almost home turf in many ways for Jess Harding, Potter's Bar in Hertfordshire, just a little left hook or so up.
Lev, I hope you're watching this, son.
Gary Mason from Bruno country, originally in London.
Gary Mason, one of my favourite fighters, British fighters.
Lights are out, and the tension time now. And believe me,
This was the first fight I saw Gary Mason fight.
Support. He actually sold £20,000 worth of tickets, this fellow.
Trust me, it's
So
good
he's
watching.
got some heavy support. A successful businessman in his own right. Not, of course, well known yet in the fight game. And he says, if I'm going to win, it'll be because I've got the ambition. Well, also Gary Mason has that, and you can't knock an unbeaten record. 29 stoppages in 30 unbeaten fights. So those big fellas, his mind is they don't really have to protect surely somebody. He weighs 16 stone.
Spot the man in the boat, walking out now. Good old Bazza.
3.5, and join the promoter Barry Hearn's matchroom boxing stable. Now there's a man himself. Didn't recognise him without the cues and the chalks. Winning run of 9 fights on the turn now, this fella Harding. And the southpaw stands. So we haven't seen a southpaw at the top level really in Britain since Jack Bodell. And well, statistics don't mean anything, but a southpaw has never won the world heavyweight.
I interviewed him the night of the day before the fight. I got that interview.
So they're all gloved up, 8-ounce gloves. Boxing board.
Gary
In the
Mason.
dressing rooms,
I miss this brother
sure
so
the
much.
Horseshoe slipped in for luck at the last seconds there. So a very popular fellow actually in the Lawless stable, and very articulate man, very humorous. Gary Mason runs his own jewellery shop actually in Gillingham. That well named too.
I think he would have beaten all the heavyweights, British heavyweights today, to be honest.
At the moment.
Maybe not Tyson Fury, but he'd beaten everyone else, I think.
Down there and concentrate on boxing. He thought it
This
was
guy was so
when
underrated.
he started his game, but he went away to a health farm at Henlow in Bedfordshire to get himself in shape. This is where Barry McGuigan previously trained, and Lloyd Huntington for a while. There's a lot of sort of personal pride at stake here, and the money's not bad either, because Barry Hearn, I think these fellas think that Christmas has come early for them. £50,000 he's guaranteed Gary Mason, and his first defence of the championship. He won the vacant championship by also his stablemate Horace Notice, who unfortunately had to retire injured. And he won that against Trevor Curry.
Brentwood, Essex. Ooh, the booing Mason.
At the Albert Hall in London last January.
It's all right.
Trainer George Francis celebrating his 61st today. And the old star maker himself there, Terry Lawless, who of course had my verbal spar mate Jim Watt as one of his stars. And the referee is going to be Larry O'Connell. And over to the MC Alan Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the International Hall, Brentwood in Essex, where Matchroom Promotions present the main event of the evening, the British Heavyweight Championship, sponsored by Storm Shield Live on ITV. All officials for this evening are appointed by the British Boxing Board of Control. The contest is over 12 rounds, over 3 minutes each round. Presenting and introducing you in the red corner with the black shorts, with 12 wins from 16 contests, the challenger for the title,
Standing ovation. I said that he'd have a big support here, Jeff Harding. I was right. And a prolonged applause for him.
and his opponent in the blue corner with the red shorts, with 30 wins from 30 contests, the defending British champion from Wandsworth, Gary Mason! And
Go on, Mason.
Today at the weigh-in, Harding scaled 16 stone 2 pounds, Mason 17 stone 5 pounds. Your referee for the contest, Larry O'Connell, and your timekeeper, Lou Hubbard. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
So Barry Hearn,
Very large.
this guy
upper
just
body
hardly
gym,
could win the
Gary
fight.
Mason. It's just that bulk around the hips and the backside that a bit deceptive, really. He's got
It's 12 rounder.
Yeah, but he's surprisingly agile. He has a good rhythm, good movement, and he carries his weight well. A big frame. I don't think his weight's a problem. It's nice to see actually heavyweights in Britain becoming as big as Mason.
Trainer Freddie King there used to be with the old Jim Watt stable. He's the think tank for Jeff Harding tonight. Jess Harding was getting mixed up. Jeff Harding was the man who defeated Dennis Andrews for the
12 3-minute rounds. If you didn't see that, I don't know where you got 4 rounder for, mate.
Now, will we get the explosive start? certainly Mason's last opponent, and Terry Armstrong, was derided in the press, and even honest Mason said he wasn't very pleased with that one, but he knows he can't hang around with this fellow. A lot of threats coming in. Well, there's been talk about, is it a mismatch? Certainly from the Lawless camp at one time, thought they was putting Harding in a bit too much above his head. Gumshield's out there, and it's Harding's. Minute gone, and he's willing to stand and trade punches with him, Harding. He's got to do that by the look of it. Oh, it's connected well with that southpaw left hand, Jim, there, Harding.
Yeah, Mason a little bit careless there. He imposed himself right from the opening. Bell landed some good shots, but he's been a little bit careless. Harding's come back with good counters. Mason can't afford to let the underdog gain his confidence. He has to keep control. It was a controlled start, but he's just a little bit careless there.
I said he may look ponderous sometimes in movement, Mason, but just watch the reflexes. On the other hand, Harding seems to have no fear in him at all. He's been really well pumped up for this fight, and he says, I really fancy my chances. I know people have been writing me off, but certainly not my manager and the followers. Oh, the right-hand punch there. He nearly went over from that, but he pulled himself back over there, Harding. He's been down. He went down with Al Malcolm, but he got up again and got a draw with him, who Mason had beaten twice.
Here we go. Jab, 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 jab.
30 seconds of the opening round then.
Listen carefully. Jab, jab, jab.
The followers of both camps, particularly the Harding camp.
We'll hear it. Jab, jab, jab in about 30 seconds. Hear it. This is a jab.
Blink will look down at their programs here at Brentwood in Essex.
Jab, jab, jab.
Oh, what a right-hand punch that was. Plus on the chin there. I doubt whether he'll get over this round, although he's running out of time. The right-hand punch really did it, and he's got to continue the count. And Larry O'Connell just glanced at
Matchroom boxing for you.
If he stays up long enough, the bell's going to interfere, and it is. And he just managed to stop Mason from charging in there.
He's taking out the Boo Boys.
There by Freddie King. Very groggy indeed, Jim.
Well, we won't see a more positive start from Gary Mason. Took a few chances in the middle of the round, but his own punching was spot on. He's getting to his rhythm very quickly. He took a few good shots back from Harding, but wasn't troubled in the slightest. We saw the effect of Harding's punches. Here they come. Harding all over the place. It was an overarm right, there it goes, banging the target. He did very well to keep his footing there.
Mason was a savage, man. I'm telling you, he was a proper savage. He did business.
Well, but had it been earlier in the round, well, I think probably could have been curtains there. There it is.
Mason was a savage back in the day, man. I'm telling you.
For the second, then.
I wish Mason was around in this era, man, in Britain. Proper savage.
Well, the chin has been tested. There's no need to test Harding's ticker because he's a game guy, all right, but he's going to need to be. You see, he's putting the punches together well here, Mason. He's accurate with them too, and it doesn't look as though it's going to go, Jim. No, it won't now. He's out in the second. And they've dived in there. The referee stopped it while he's on the floor, turning him on the side. And the boxing board control doctors in the ring right away. This one was a bit lethal tonight, and even allowing for the fact that there were people that Harding wasn't ready for him.
There must have been pressure on Mason tonight because everybody expected him to win. I'm a bit concerned. His head really thumped that canvas, and at this moment I'm a little bit concerned that serious damage is taking place. Mason's performance was flawless. He knew he had too much power, too much strength and experience. He boxed far more rounds than Harding. He just took the fight with a scruff of the neck and stayed there. But hopefully Harding is going to fully recover from that, but his head really thumped the canvas after he went over.
There's quite a bit of padding under this canvas as well, I'm pleased to say. I just felt over there the sponge and
I'll put my video on when I was with James Adabishish. Put that on for you.
border control doctor, very experienced. He will not let him move at all until he's absolutely satisfied that he's capable of getting up okay. And he's insisting on him staying there. Obviously, gum shield or mouthpiece, as they call it in America, is being removed. Well, there's no doubt about it, Jim. Maybe he did get there too quickly, eh?
Yeah, well, obviously, once Mason moved into gear, you saw the difference in class, the difference in quality. It's maybe just now a pity that it hadn't got caught a little bit earlier in the first round and it had been all over then, because those punches he took in the second round, but the punches, as you can see, are really solid. But when he went over, the back of his head really thumped the canvas, and I think that caused more damage. He was almost out on his feet before the last punch landed. Very brave, plenty of courage, but look at the head here. You see the way the head went down, the gum shield came out. It was a horrible punch.
Well, while we're waiting for this recovery of Harding, Mason's people are saying that they want him to go on and fight for the Commonwealth Championship against Derek Williams, or maybe the vacant European Championship. But we're more concerned.
Hold on a second, let's bring this back up for you people. I don't know what happened there, but it weren't having it, so let's bring this back up and I'll bring that video up for you. We'll finish watching that off, just the interview, and then then we'll go on to the next.
Yes, Harding.
Just he went down pretty badly there when he got that punch, and I think he banged his head as well, and he's been down there for some time, and I've been really worried, but thankfully he's up and he's okay.
Yeah, during the commercial break, he seems to be up and taking notice. Some people close to you describe this as a mismatch after what's happened here. Did you agree with that?
I still don't think it was a mismatch. Jess, obviously, he can become British champion, but he's not ready for that yet. He caught me with a few punches in the first round in the earlier exchanges, but as was said before, I think I'm underestimated as a fighter, and his management and his team, they underestimated me, and that was why the outcome was like this.
That's right. It had some effect, that punch. Or was it one of the best you've ever thrown?
I don't know. I don't think it was that punch in particular, because he went down at the end of the first, and then he took more punches in that beginning of that round, and obviously it was accumulation of punches, but that one was the one that finished him.
That's right. It was the bell that stayed at the end of the first. I think we can see it here, the decisive moments in the second.
Straight right, which is the punch for the southpaws, and that one and the left hook missed there. See, he was already in trouble before those flurry of punches, and then the bang of the head, which made matters a lot worse than they would have been.
That's right.
But I think from the very first round, Jesse he had the look of fear in his eyes, although he fought back a lot in the first round, and he caught me with a few punches in the first round, but at the end of the first round, when he went down, he didn't recover in the corner, and I went out, and I knew I capitalized on that. I went out and steamed in.
You had, if I can use a phrase, your fight face on here tonight. You were almost the away fighter, weren't you?
That's right. Well, it gives you more inspiration to be the away fighter. It's the first time I've been the away fighter, and you can hear the crowd is still shouting for Jess now. And while they're doing all the shouting, Jess is the one that suffers because they're not in the ring. They can shout as much as they like, but they shouldn't do it from out there because their man's the one that suffers for it.
Do you think you might have given yourself a bit of credibility tonight? I know that might seem strange because you've won 31 on the spin, but there were people who were doubting some of the opponents you've been in with.
When my next fight comes up, they'll be saying the same thing.
Yeah.
He's had them, and who has he fought, and who has he beat? And it's going to be there's always more questions than answers, but I keep giving the answers in here, and they keep asking the questions out there, and we'll carry on until something else happens.
You've done that. Let me call in your manager, Terry Lawless here. Terry, it's fair to say that I've seen you look happier after victories from other fighters.
Well, I don't like to see anybody get knocked out like that. You know, the boy was badly hurt, and I don't like to see that anybody get hurt.
You had a few misgivings about the match from the start, didn't you?
Well, I was talking purely from a managerial point of view. Jess Harding made a considerable improvement in the last year, and if it had been me personally, I'd have waited another year. I wouldn't see. I mean, I know how good Gary is. I can understand anybody else not knowing it. I mean, everybody thinks he's slow, he's not. He's one of the fastest heavyweights I've seen. He doesn't move his feet like other heavyweights, but he's got such quick hands and such a quick brain that, you know, he's so deceiving and so deceptive. Now, I know that, and I know other people don't know that. So that's why I wouldn't take him to fight. I'd the inside track, if you know what I mean.
If we can look ahead a little bit, I think there's Derek Williams on the horizon possibly, but this fella here has been talking about Mike Tyson that you know a little bit about. Would he in time?
About that. Right, I'm just going to finish this off with this. I'll put this. I'll say this is probably, for me, very much in terms of a birthday and a special moment for me was getting the chance to work out with James Ali Bashir. Let me see if I can get that up for you again. I'll play that for you. See if we can get that on the share screen, and we can have a look. Let's bring that up. Can I get that there? It's here. So escape that there a second. Let's do this here. Let's get that share screen up and bring that up for you guys to look at that share screen. Get that. So I was in camp. I'd visit with Vlad Tsarenko, and Uncle Bashir gave me the Uncle Bashir to take me on the pads, and this is what happened.
Right. Don't pull back. Just turn it over. Just turn it over. That's all. You know why you hit me while it's going? Yeah. Because you're punching across. Yeah. The shortest distance between 2 points is straight ahead. So punch straight. You're still hitting over here, hitting in the center. Jab, jab right hand. Jab right hand. You're still hitting on the, hit it in the center. Still hitting on the tip, hit it in the center. Double jab right hand. Jab. Jab hook. Jab hook. Jab hook, right hand here. Again. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Right uppercut. Oh. Bang, bang, come on. One, two. Okay.
Long time, Uncle. Right. So there you go. That was that, and I did that. I did that video. That video was done when I was in Tsarenko's camp. So make it heavy out of me. I don't know about that bit. Without the bulk, yeah. And I did a few rounds of Dillian White's current trainer now, Xavier Miller. I don't know if I can get that. I wonder if I can pull that one up for you as well. I did someone with the Irish camp as well. I did that as well. I'll see if I can find that. A long time ago, man. Let me see if I can find it for you guys. Going back through the ages trying to find these videos. Here we go. It's not there. I have to YouTube search it, I think. I'll try and find the Xavier Miller video for you guys. I think I did four or 5 rounds of Xavier Miller, actually. So while you're in the room, let's just chat for another 5 minutes. It's nice to just talk and share boxing experience and things. So pull that one up as well. Here we go. So pull it up. Share screen. Video file. No, I don't want to share video file with you. Definitely don't want to share the video file with you. See if I can find it for you. Let's see if I get that. Pull that up. Select that there. There we go. Think. This is it. This is when I went down to visit Playboy. You must be joking, Playboy Jones. It was crazy. Huh? Things up. Right. See, actually, the day I went down to Xavier Miller's gym was actually to do some. I was doing some interviews, and I interviewed a few fighters, and then I said, you know what? Because I'd already done some pad work with Bashir, I'd done a pad work with Bashir, did pad work with the Irish coach, national coach. So I thought, you know what? Let me do some pad work with. You know, the person I wish I always got pad work with, but I never did, was Peter Fury. Let me see if I can get to the actual pad work here instead of what's going on here. Let's get this up. If that guy there who was padding me up was Yusuf Kamari. Oh, don't cast swirl at me now. Come on. So I wasn't actually like a thing for this. I wasn't. I didn't come to do any pad work. It was just. So as you see, I've just got shoes on. If you can see this, can you see it? That's Xavier Miller there. Yeah, it's a nice ring. It's nice gym actually. It's quite a decent gym. Down in Neasden. You can see that there. Might just screen out. There you go. Yeah, I've been to All Stars. I've actually been inside at All Stars. Daniel Legere trains there. But I've never been there before, though, so. Actually streaming this live. This time. That's why it sticks a bit. So I was always taught to move your head. Never keep your head on the line. Always keep moving your head all the time. Don't be stuck in one place, you know. And even if you are in one place, you're moving your head. You're not staying on the line. Yeah, I think James the Gale All-Stars. I think it was the gym near Grenfell that used to as well. Near Grenfell Tower was used. Wish I got to spend more time with James as a thinking about it now. I tried not to back straight up. Let's move side to side. If I'm backing up, it's a back up. It'll back up and throw one over the top. So try not to move, keep my head in the same spot all the time. I try. Now, again, bearing in mind, I haven't done any fitness training for years like that. So it's like, so Xavier's actually telling me what he wants or what he wants of me to do. Bearing in mind, he's probably done about 5 or 6 pro fighters already on pads before I've come along and done this afterwards. Yusuf Kamari was the guy you saw in the back there, putting my glove, helping me put the gloves on. She's all over and right. Just to clarify, I'm not a heavyweight. Strange enough, and again, the left hook was never a punch I liked. I never liked the left hook. It was the right hand I loved a lot. The jab and the right hand. The straight right hand I loved, and the chopping right hand near the temple area. This is just before he joined with Dillian White. Well, it's for the inside fighting now. Left uppercut. More of a jumping in left uppercut, where it's just straight left up there. So he's kind of jumping in with the left up, jumping up, left uppercut, I say. Slipping, you see he's throwing the jab, slip inside, bang, throw the uppercut through in the middle. I like him. I think he beats Takam easy. So this time, I'm doing less moving around. Less bouncing around. So you got to stand your ground more, less jumping around, and looking to place harder shots in. Try and style it out now because you're knackered. You've been you're blowing out your ass now. And the trainer can see it, so he's pushing you to keep going and work through the pain. don't know how many rounds of that I did. Was there any more rounds I did? Yeah, I had another round of that to go, I think. Yeah, I had one more round to go of that. Now, do you want Bruce to attack him or not attack him, spark out? You're not attack him, spark out. Did he do another round? I don't know if he did another round with me. Can't remember if he did another round. I'll know in a second if he did another. If he picked the pads up. That might have been it. It might have been it. I can check and see. It might have been the last round. Yeah, that was the last round he did. So there you go. Just nice to look back at things. It's nice to look back at things and to share those memories with you all. So, thank you very much. Celebrated my 45th year, and it's the 46th minute of 12, since it's 12 o'clock, it's 46 minutes gone. Thank you so much for watching BWTM Sports Gaming, and thank you for watching those 2 boxing bouts with me when we talk boxing. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Have a good evening, and enjoy July 15th.